Okay, so let's talk about mature skin. Whether you are in your 40s, 50s, 60s or beyond, makeup can still look fresh, glowy and on trend. It's literally just about using the right formulas. So today I'm going to take you through a full face of makeup products that actually work on mature skin. I already have my skincare on. I want you guys, if you're going to be following along through this video, I want you to make sure that you pause, put your skincare on, because your skincare is going to be tailored and targeted to your own skin concerns. I don't want you to think you have to use a skincare that I use. Now, just in case some of you are thinking, well, you don't have mature skin. I am actually in my mid-40s, but I also believe that regardless of how old you are, it doesn't mean as soon as you hit 40, you've all of a sudden got mature skin. Yes, your skin changes, your hormones change, and things start to feel and look different on your skin, but it can be subtle for some people and it can be a bit more speedy for some people. So it really depends on where you are as a person. It's very unique and tailored to your own body. So I still only have my face to show you on, so regardless, this is more about the products, the formula, and also the application. So let's get on with it. Now, I want to first go in with a primer that's going to work well for mature skin. Mature skin tends to lose its hydration and bounce throughout the years. Like, you definitely don't end up having the kind of bounce and hydration you had in your 20s compared to when you're in your 40s, 50s or 60s or beyond. So the one that I'm going to use is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. This is literally like a glass of water for your skin. It's got hyaluronic acid, it's got aloe in here, so it's really good for calming the skin too, as well as the extra hydration and moisture boost. What I specifically love about this, other than these extra perks for mature skin, is that it has this tacky feel to it. Now, I know some people are kind of very specific about how formulas feel on the skin, but you're gonna have to deal with it with this one, because I know some people might say, oh, it's too sticky for me, but it's not gonna stay like that. The reason it is sticky is so that it can really grip hold of your makeup once you apply it on top of this, and it stays put all day. So you want it to give that extra tacky kind of feeling at the end. It also helps to really smooth out any kind of lines and patches throughout the skin. So as we all know, as you do get older and your skin starts to mature, you can also end up with dry areas on your skin. Your skin loses the moisture, therefore it does feel a bit drier. It can be, again, like I mentioned, quicker for some, slower for some. And it can also be all of a sudden your whole skin, like your whole face. And for some people, it can gradually start to appear in patches. So you'll have certain areas which are maybe still kind of quite hydrated and moisturized, like naturally, and then you'll have some areas that tend to be a bit drier on other areas. So this is a good primer because it will actually help to just work on the area as a whole rather than just where you need it, you know? So it's gonna give you a good kind of hydration all over, but also on those dry areas, it's really gonna help to kind of hydrate them. Let's go ahead and apply this. Now, we're just gonna smooth this over. You don't need to really rub this into the skin. You want a thin veil all across the face. There you go. I would say give your primer around, 60 seconds or so before you move on to the application of your next product, because you want it to settle down. You want it to be able to just kind of get used to your skin and let it kind of just settle down, basically. You don't want to go straight in with another product. Let it calm down a bit and then you want to move on to the next step. The next product that we're going to be using is the MAC Studio Radiance Serum Powered Foundation. This is an absolutely amazing foundation for mature skin. And the reason for that is because it's lightweight, it gives you that radiant, healthy finish to the skin, and it's also working on your skin at the same time. Like, this foundation generally doesn't sit in the fine lines or exaggerate texture on your skin, so it is going to really help to smooth everything out. It's also not so thick. It's very, like I said, it's lightweight. It's a very lightweight formula, so it's not too heavy for your skin, which is perfect if you have mature skin. As you probably heard, I said it's a serum powered foundation, so it has got skincare infused into this. And because of that serum base, it helps to plump the skin up and just make it look more kind of bouncy and healthy. But what I do love about that is, other than the fact that it does give you those things, it does last throughout the day. So you will feel that this foundation keeps your skin looking like plump and hydrated throughout the day. It isn't just like when you apply it and that's it. The look of this foundation is very kind of freshly applied, but in a good way, not too much at all, and it lasts throughout the whole day. So what I usually do is apply this onto the back of the hand. One pump is usually enough, even a little bit less than that. All depends on kind of how much you like. Now I like to use this brush to apply. This is the BK Beauty 106 brush. What I do is I take a little bit of this foundation to the side and then I really buff it into this brush. It's really important that you do this because you want to get a nice even layer all over the brush before you start applying it onto the skin. So what we're going to do here is start on one side. Now I'm just going to, can you see I'm holding the brush like this? I'm not holding it like this, and I'm really pressing it into the skin. Now the primer that we've got underneath is really going to help this to just grab hold of the primer and just stay in place. So everything that we're using works really well hand in hand. I feel like all of these products that I've chosen for you today work so well together. You can get them separately if you want, obviously, and just incorporate it into your usual kind of makeup routine. And every time, by the way, buff it into the brush. But, you know, together as well, if you did want to go out and get this whole collection, it does work really, really well together. See what I mean? When you apply this, you're going to see what I mean when I talk about the bouncy plump look, because I feel like you really feel it in your skin when you apply it. I feel like that's something as you get older I realised that you want, because, you know, like I mentioned, you don't have that plump skin the way that you did, you know, when you were in your 20s. And it's kind of like, in my 20s, I did not realise that this is not gonna, not that I never thought I was gonna age, but like, you know, you just don't think to yourself, wow, this plumpness is gonna go. Do you know what I mean? It's like you take it for granted. Now, I actually talk about mature makeup products a lot on my newsletter, so you want to head over there and join that community. It's called the Beauty Breakfast Club. It's a community full of people who love beauty, makeup, and want products that actually work and want to learn how to actually apply them and want detailed information before going out and investing your money into these things. So head on over there, subscribe. It's a free publication. You've got access to a lot of newsletters on there. There are so many for you to catch on. It's been going for over a year now. There's a new newsletter every other day, literally. So I'd love you to join that community. There is a paid version which gives you access to the entire site, as well as a group chat where all of us are actually getting to know each other and helping each other out with beauty problems. And I'm also there to answer your questions too. So head on over and subscribe. By the way, the paid version literally costs you, it's like getting yourself one latte a month. That's it. So it's a really great way for you to help support my publication and everything that I give you on here. Right, we're going to be using the Armani Luminous Silk Concealer. Now, this is a really good option for mature skin. It's obviously got a luminous finish. It's very silky on the skin and it brightens up areas as well at the same time. It's not heavy at all for the skin, by the way. This is a great option when you have mature skin and you want a concealer which gives you some coverage but isn't heavy, doesn't sit in the fine lines, isn't kind of just settle and just become all gunky and cakey. It really does not do that. A lot of concealers out there are so heavy that they really sit in fine lines and wrinkles and they can actually end up making you look older. This one doesn't. Right, you don't want to go overboard with concealer on mature skin. Like, less is honestly more when it comes to mature skin. So we are going to just go ahead. I'm going to do the under eyes. Actually, no, I'm going to do the eyelids first. I want to get them out of the way. So let's just add a few dots here. We're going to get our sponge, which is damp. And we're just going to pat this all over. My shade is 6.5 and it's like a tiny bit brighter than my skin tone because I like that slight brightness. Now it's up to you how much you apply of this. What I will say is look down so that the lids don't crease. Get a powder puff. I'm using the Makeup by Mario Master Puff and I'm dipping it into my powder. I'm just going to press here. Now my powder, I'm going to talk about in a second when I use it on the rest of your face, on the rest of my face. And then I'm just dusting off the excess. This is my Real Techniques brush. Okay, so let's move on to the under eyes. I'm going to take this and apply a small amount. Like I said, you don't want to go overboard with this. Now, I would suggest doing a little bit here, just so that you get that nice lift, because who doesn't want to look a little bit lifted and youthful? So that's all I'm going to apply there. Now, I'm going to take my sponge. I am going to go right into this here and just take it over the under eye. And then I'm going to go up here. And that's going to just connect it all together and kind of cover up those dark circles, but also give me a slight lift. There you go. See what I mean? It's such a small amount of concealer, but it actually does give you good coverage. So I do love this concealer for mature skin. And then whatever's left on the sponge, you can take it around like the corners of the mouth, which basically is a great way to lift the area without having to apply extra concealer like straight from the tube. So you're just kind of adding whatever's left on the sponge, wherever you feel that you actually need it. Now, I'm gonna move on to the next product. This is my Glowgasm Beauty Light Wand in Pink Gasm. So this, I feel like, is perfect for mature skin because we want that glow, which isn't over the top and shimmery and sparkly. And what I love about this is there's no thick shimmer particles in here. It's actually quite a kind of smooth sheen. It's not overly shiny. It gives you that kind of lit from within glow without being like you've just, you know, looking like you've just applied a whole load of kind of product. So it has like a sponge tip. I just literally squeeze it a little bit and then screw it back closed, because otherwise you don't actually want too much product with this. So now this is where we're going to actually lift the face a little bit with this product as well. Now what I want to do is apply it along this area here, because this is actually doing kind of two things for us with one product. It's giving us a little bit of glow, but it's also giving us a little bit of blush as well. And in the right area and the right kind of blending, it can really help to lift the area as well. So it's a very lightweight formula, by the way. So I'm going to just go ahead and apply some there. Now I'm going to use a brush. I'm using my Hourglass 15 brush. There's nothing on here. And now this is where I am just going to dab. I always say tap, don't drag. So we are just gonna really give ourselves a really nice kind of blush look with a slight lift. See how I'm taking it up into the hairline a little bit? You don't need to go too high. It's more of a case of going upwards and outwards, not up into that area, into the temples. There you go. See that? And we're not bringing it too much into the middle, because I feel like as you age and you are more mature, like you don't want to have that color right there in the center, because that can end up aging you, to be honest. So you want that slight lifted look with it. See how we've got that really nice color there that's actually taking the eye upwards because of where we've placed the color, and it's giving you that lift. So we're going to go ahead on the other side and add a little bit there. We're going to do the same thing. I feel like if you just focus on tapping where you've applied it, you will, you know, focus on that first and then gradually move it out. Don't go into it and then straight into other areas. Just keep blending it in the area that you've actually applied it. And then when you start moving the brush around, you're actually just taking around a minimal amount of product rather than the whole lot. Right, next we're gonna use the Beauty Blender, I can't remember what this is called, Bounce Magic Fit Creamy Bronzer. The shade I'm using is Golden Nutmeg. This is a cream bronzer that literally melts into the skin, by the way. There's no harsh lines, there's no muddiness with this. It's a really great product. It's actually two products in one. So you've got this cream highlight, which we're not going to use, we don't need that. And you unscrew it, sorry, and you've got the cream bronzer, which is I would say this is kind of a matte finish. Not matte in the sense that it dries up or anything, but there's no sheen or shimmer in here, which is great. So it's perfect for bronzing and sculpting. Because another mistake I see people making as they get more mature skin is they think they need to go towards everything shimmery and stay away from anything matte. Now, I just want to add here, don't think that you have to do that. It's really nice to balance things out and mix different finishes with each other, because that gives you more dimension on the face. If you have the entire face looking glowy and shimmery, the entire skin, like all of it, it's just not doing you any justice, and it's not adding any dimension, and it can end up actually looking obvious that you've got a lot of makeup on. So what you want is to have areas that have a matte finish but not drying. there's a difference there. And then areas which are giving that nice glow, like the peak of the cheekbone. Do you see what I mean? So because we've got the peak of the cheekbone with some shimmer, like not shimmer, but that glow coming through, we're gonna keep this area matte. It's not, this product is great because it's not drying, right? And it's not a powder. So it is gonna be kind of hydrating for the skin, but also like non-drying for the skin, but also giving you that nice kind of matte finish to it. So this is gonna add some dimension to the face without looking too done. Now I'm gonna use my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit brush. I think that's what it's called. I'll put it on the screen. Now there are two sides to this. One is slightly bigger, one is slightly kind of smaller and more pointy. I'm gonna use the more pointy side because it's a really nice soft brush. So I'm gonna go into this product, just a little bit, dab into it, and then apply it to the back of my hand or onto a tissue so that you haven't got a whole load of product there. And then what we're gonna do here is we're gonna bronze the face, but also sculpt at the same time. So we're going from the top of the ear, which actually ends up being just beneath the blush. And we're gonna just pat. And all we're doing is basically adding some warmth around this area and sculpt. And then you can take it into the hairline if you want. I take a little bit onto the chin, just the corner, the point there. And it's such a lovely product to build up. Now, I know powders can be scary with mature skin, but this one is really lightweight. This is the Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder, but Ultra Blur. So I don't know, someone said to me that the original one is not available anymore. I don't know if that is the case, but anyway, this one I absolutely love and I way prefer it than that old one. So this is a really good lightweight powder. This is what I used on my eyelids for mature skin. It is called Ultra Blur for a reason. It helps to blur out any texture that you have and fine lines. How amazing is that? But it also doesn't look too chalky and heavy on the skin. So it's a very lightweight powder and it's a translucent one. So it's going to suit most skin tones. Now with mature skin, I would suggest only powdering where you need it, if you feel that your skin does look quite dry throughout the day. So a lot of mature skin clients say to me that they struggle with the under eye area because it just looks cakey and it makes the lines more obvious when they use a powder puff to press onto the area. I personally love pressing with a powder puff on my under eye area, but you can use a brush. Now if you're going to use a brush, this is what I would recommend you do. I'm going to actually be using a powder puff on myself, but I'm going to tell you what you need to do if you want to use a brush. You want to get the tip of your brush sponge, you want to go in and get rid of any creasing, any products that is sitting in your fine lines and wrinkles, because it inevitably at this point is going to be sitting there. With all the expressions we make, it's going to start settling into those lines. And before you powder, smooth everything out, but not just keep it where it is, remove the excess product because it's actually product that you don't need there. Then you're going to take a brush like this, which is your Real Techniques brush. You're going to dip into that powder, you're going to press it on the palm of the hand, and then you are going to press all the way across like this. And I'm going to show you how in a second after I've actually pressed it with a puff. My preference is pressing in with a puff, so I'm going to get the powder, put it on the puff. I'm going to just go into the palm to make sure there's not too much product. I'm going to press like that. That's how I do my under eyes there. Always get the excess off on the palm of the hand first. Right, now the technique I'm talking about with a brush is you basically go like that. But obviously that's with the powder, without the powder puff, if that's how you want to do it. So you don't have to actually apply the powder in areas that you feel like actually stay pretty matte or they end up looking quite kind of overly dry throughout the day. Don't apply it in those areas. Or you can just use a soft brush like the Makeup by Maria F2 brush, dip into the powder and kind of press it onto areas lightly, and then that's it. I personally like to use the puff in certain areas. So I generally add it to the areas that I tend to look a bit shiny, like feel like looks quite shiny through the day, which is usually my T-zone. And then I just kind of like take the brush over, but you can use the, like just the brush if you want to. If you want to, you can leave out the area that you applied the blush. I've applied a very small amount of powder on top, but honestly, that's just to keep it in place. And also, I feel like I still get that glow coming through along my cheekbones. It's not totally matte. The right brow pencil is really important because as we age, our hair on the brow area, along with other places, thins out quite a lot. I mean, to be honest with you, my brows thinned out a very, very long time ago, way before I was into my 40s. But that's just because I overplucked when I was very young and they just never grew back. Honestly, it's a thing. It actually does happen. It does, you know, thin out a bit more. So I'm going to be using my Kosas Brow Pop Nano. It's an ultra thin brow pencil and it's really, really good when trying to transfer onto areas, like transfer the product over to areas that don't necessarily have a lot of hair. And it's so thin that it replicates your hair stroke. It's not too creamy, so it does stay in place. So it's really good at mimicking those kind of hair strokes that you have, like the hair that you already have there. So what I'm going to do is just start kind of drawing in my hair strokes, and I'm just kind of going from the underside. And I would suggest, as you are aging, like try different brow styles, because I do feel like looking at yourself in pictures with different brow styles that you've done, like how you've applied the product, really gives you a good indication as to what suits you, like for that age. Because I have noticed like a lighter brow does look better. When I say lighter, I mean like not so heavy and thick. There you go. So we've shaped that really nicely and it's quite minimal, to be honest. Let's do the other side. And just keep like mimicking the hairs in the same direction that your hair is already going in. So next up, what you want is a lip liner that's going to define your lips, but also not look like it's so heavy. Again, with mature skin, I do feel like, I've already mentioned this probably several times, less is more. And that doesn't necessarily mean the amount of product that you use, but sometimes it can mean less color. So less kind of obvious bold color. It doesn't mean that, you know, bold color doesn't suit mature skin, but I'm just trying to show you a look which is, I think, very wearable in daytime, and you know, anyone can kind of do it, whether they feel that this is more of an evening look for them or daytime. So I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Sheet in Iconic Nude. This is a great color if your skin tone is similar to mine. If you are a bit more on the lighter, paler skin tone, I'd go for something like Pillow Talk. If you are a little bit deeper and darker skin tone than me, you could even go for the Pillow Talk Deep, or dark, I think it is. I can't remember which one, but there are several different kind of shades of it. So I'm going to now just apply this over my lips. So what I want to do, because you do lose volume in the lips as you get older as well, is kind of feather it into the lip line, but you can go above it if you want, or a little bit above it. Don't feel like you always have to draw a harsh line. And that's what I love about this lip liner, because I feel like actually you can get away with doing feather strokes. See how I'm just literally doing feather strokes and make it look like a really natural lip line. Now I'm going to use a colour which I love, and this liquid lipstick is amazing for mature skin. It's the Bobbi Brown Luxe Liquid Lipstick, and this is in the shade Weekender. So this is actually looks like a nude, but it looks a little bit peachy on the lips. See what I mean? It looks nude, but then as soon as I blend it in, it's almost like the perfect peach for tanned skin. It's not overly nude. Now, if you ever feel like you want to add a bit of colour to your lip, like you've put lipstick on, you feel like actually I need a bit more colour to it, a bit more vibrancy, then you can use a brighter colour as your second option. So this is your base layer. Now I'm going to go with Hourglass Unlocked Lipstick in Tiger Lily, and this is quite a strong peach. And I'm going to press along the centre. And that adds a bit more colour, see that? So don't always feel like you have to rely on one lipstick and use that all over. Like, I'm gonna blot this now and it's gonna give me the perfect shade. That's it, exactly what I wanted. A natural lip, which doesn't look like I've got 5 layers on there, but it's actually 2 layers, but in a very strategic way. So it's not heavy on the lip, it looks very lightweight. I've got my very light, like natural lip line. I've got my base layer, which is gonna stay put because that doesn't actually dry out the lips. And then I've got a color on top, which is actually helping to give it a bit more vibrancy. You kind of want a soft matte finish for mature skin. And this is what those 2 formulas that I've used, they are actually soft matte, so they're not drying on the skin, they don't look drying, they don't settle into lines on the skin. It's a very comfortable hydrating lipstick that gives a matte finish but is not feeling matte on your skin. Now I am going to curl my lashes because this is the last bit that I'm going to be doing, and show you one of the best mascaras for mature skin. Now, why is it important to have a good mascara for mature skin? Because as we age, we also lose hair in the eyelashes, just lose hair in general. So you want to basically lengthen your lashes, thicken your lashes all at the same time, and you want it to stay put. Curling your lashes before you apply your mascara is a must-have. It is a game changer for your mascara. If you want your mascara to work to its full potential, always curl your lashes before applying your mascara. I would always recommend making sure your lashes are clean, because sometimes if you do them last, product can build up, even if it's powder, particles, it can build up and change the way your lashes are gonna look. So make sure they are clean, and we're going to go to a new mascara which I'm using, which I actually think is a great mascara because it focuses on thickness and length. Now this is my Master Matte, not Master Matte, it's just my Master Mascara from Makeup Forever. So I am going to go into the root of the lash, I'm going to press on the root, jiggle it side to side, and then drag out. And this gives you really good thickness and length, but what it does is it makes your lashes look quite fluttery, so it's not spidery and thick and clumpy. So it's a really nice it's a really nice lash effect that you get. See what I mean? It's such a nice lash. I'm really loving this mascara. So again, go into the root so you can feel it touching the root of your lash. Jiggle it side to side and then pull through. Just once is enough in terms of the side to side movement. Once you've got it into the root on an area, you can drag through, and then you do the next part. And after that, you just brush through. And it's really easy on the lower lashes. I just feel like you just want to drag it through from the mid-length down. Don't go into the root on your lower lashes because it can end up looking a bit too much. So that is your fresh, glowy, plump, hydrated makeup routine for mature skin. It's all about using the right textures and formulas for your skin and really understanding the changes that happen in your skin as we age. So please remember that it's not like you hit 40, you hit 50 and that's it, your skin's gonna stay the same. It's literally, your skin will keep you on your toes as soon as you go into your 40s. So it's always changing. So it's always about understanding your skin, understanding the changes, and just adapting your makeup to work well with your skin. More than the products and the brands, it's more to do with the texture and your technique. Let me know in the comments which ones, or if all of these kind of techniques that I've tried that you have ended up incorporating into your routine, or let me know how it went if you followed this video like step by step and you paused it and you did it your makeup at the same time. Let me know how it looked. It is something that I feel like is a really wearable look, and everyone has a preference in terms of how much makeup they like. So this could be someone's daytime look, but it could be someone's evening look. So whatever it is for you, take it away, practice, watch the video back like a million times, because that's honestly going to help you the most. I can't begin to tell you how much that really helps. It's like literally having me in your living room with you. Just keep getting me to repeat, pause, rewind, watch again, and that's going to help you actually get better at your makeup. So I'm going to love you and leave you, and see you on the next video.